So I'm a big believer that knowledge is power, but critical thinking will get you further, which is why you should never be getting all your information from one source. So in this video, I'm going to introduce you to some other death-related YouTube channels for you to follow. Before we begin, we post death and dying related videos every Friday, so if that sounds like your kind of thing, consider subscribing to the channel. Now let's talk death educators on YouTube. Before we begin, let me start out by saying I have not watched everything on all of these channels, so if it turns out that they're bad people or they're not who they say they are, that's the chance you take. My criteria I had for this video was that each channel must be predominantly death education, even if it is niche. You could argue that true crime or disaster content is death related, but it's not educational enough for this list because I could make another YouTube channel just looking at all the true crime and disaster channels that are out there. With that, all the links to these channels will be in the description. And with that, let's take a look. Ask a Mortician. May as well start with the OG, right? So Caitlin Doherty started the Ask a Mortician channel in, wait for it, October 2011. That's a bit over 13 years ago. God, I feel old. And she has a bit over 2 million subscribers on her YouTube channel. When the channel started, its main focus was answering basic death questions that people have. And most of the videos were 5 minutes or less. As time went on, there was more of a focus on alternative body disposal methods as she advocated for laws to change in the US. Nowadays, the channel posts less frequently, but still racks up the views, and seems to aim to be more documentary style content, often with a historical angle. Currently, I believe she's on sabbatical to research a book about what happened to the bodies from the Titanic. And yes, we have reached out on multiple occasions, but getting through the fortress that is a publicist is not quite as easy as you may think. If I end up in the US for our research tour at the end of the year, I will give it another crack. Hospice Nurse Julie. Another US creator from California, Julie McFadden started posting on YouTube 3 years ago. As the name suggests, she talks about all things hospice, having originally been an ICU nurse before transitioning to hospice work. She often includes a lot of real-life video of people dying on her channel. Her channel has 528,000 subscribers and her TikTok has 1.6 million followers. Hospice Nurse Penny. Penny Smith is a hospice nurse in Washington, US, who started posting on YouTube 2 years ago. Her channel has 274,000 subscribers, but she has almost 890,000 followers on her TikTok. I would assume this is because most of her content is really short, under 3 minutes or so it does really well on those short form platforms. Personally, I really like her content style and way of presenting information. There's more humor, which you don't really get from a lot of these other creators. Brad's Fun Funeral Facts. Okay, this channel just made the list because their YouTube has only been up since the 5th of January this year. However, they have 60,000 followers on TikTok. So the channel is run by Brad, a licensed funeral director, embalmer, and mortuary school professor in the US. And I only stumbled across his TikTok channel in the past week, but I really love his calm presentation style, so I'm really hoping his YouTube channel takes off too. He's got this British but not British kind of thing going on. Dubya. This guy's an autopsy tech who posts short form content answering viewers' questions. Maybe because of this, he has 77,000 subscribers on YouTube, but 2.3 million followers on TikTok. He's in Arizona, US, and while his content is not always specific to his death work, there is enough there to be engaging. The Muslim Undertaker. So he does have a YouTube channel, but it's supplementary to his 573,000 followers on TikTok and 1.2 million followers on Instagram. That still counts for this video. Ahmed Harachi, also known as the Aussie Mammoth, is an Islamic funeral director in Sydney, Australia. His content shows his work organising funerals, so you'll see a lot of behind the scenes sort of footage, but he also has a lot of really soulful talks to the camera, which is very complimentary. Nurse Hadley. With 635,000 subscribers on YouTube and 2.1 million followers on TikTok, Hadley Vlahos is another US hospice nurse creating short form content. She is a bit younger than the other hospice nurses that we've mentioned, and she does a lot of skits from the dying person's perspective, which is really interesting. I should say at this point that all these US hospice nurses that I've mentioned all have books out that they've written, and that just must be the done thing that you do over there, I don't know, but go check them out. Carrie the Mortician. Carrie Northey is a US funeral director and embalmer in Michigan with 125,000 subscribers on YouTube. Her content is a really nice mix of long and short form content. And she's been in the industry for 22 years and has managed to capture a lot of footage from various parts of the funeral industry. The Grave Woman. Possibly more of a podcast than a YouTube channel, but she has a YouTube channel, so that still counts for this video. Joelle Simone Anthony is a funeral director and grief practitioner from Georgia, US. She also runs the Multicultural Death and Grief Care Academy, which specializes in providing culturally sensitive resources and training for professionals and teams. And this is a woman that I would really love to sit down and have a coffee with. Are you dying to know? An Aussie channel with Tracy and Trish. Tracy is a mortician. They started their channel 4 years ago and has 67,000 subscribers. Their content is focused around the funeral and mortuary space, of which you will see a lot of footage of, and it has a very relaxed and not overly produced kind of style, which is a really nice change on this platform. All these channels have different presentation styles, which makes them interesting to watch. And I've reached out to a few of these channels over the past year to collab, but no luck. So if you have a collab that you would really like to see us have, by all means tag them and reach out to them on social media platforms, but please do it politely. Let me know if you found someone new to watch. And with that, go talk death.